and welcome to the Power Up Talk Show, a talk show where we bring together amazing people that are making a difference in the world. I'm Sandy Spady, your host, and welcome to the journey of life. I'm going to introduce my two amazing guests. Yes, to Double Trouble, Juicy Mint. What's the name of that gum? I don't know. Juicy Double Trouble, whatever. I have Samantha Neiman and Kaleb Duncan, and they are both photographers, entrepreneurs, and now guess what, audience? They started Manifest Omaha. Hey. Did I say that right?
You sure did.
Yeah,
I nailed it.
And Caleb's starting his own design of necklaces too. No, I'm just kidding. They're awesome. It takes a real man to wear those, and I like them. Yes.
Thank you.
Two of my favorite people, two of my photographers. I've had you both. Kaleb did my speaker reel, so if you need a speaker reel, Kaleb just knocked it out of the water. And Samantha has done workshop videos for me and photographs and all this. So they're creative. And so it doesn't surprise me that they just organically started this amazing group. And I feel like I might be a little inspiration for that with Women with Voices, maybe. Just
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell the world, what are you guys up to? You look, they match everything. Like
we do kind of match. We coordinated beforehand to make sure that we at least match
looks
some
so
of our
great.
I did want him to throw off my vibe.
Yeah.
Let the world know who you two are.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Excited to be here and talk about our new group. So we started a group called Manifest Omaha earlier this year.
Yeah.
Sam and I met about a year ago. It was like last July or so where July 20th.
Was it happen to be a Woman with Voices?
Yeah.
It was Women with Voices where we met, and then the first time we chatted was we went to the zoo together. Yeah. It was a social that was going on.
Kids network.
Yeah, Kids Table, so a young professional group that we're both a part of. So we got to chatting, and then just pretty much became kind of best friends right off the bat.
Yeah.
And we talked about, we both kind of had an idea of starting a group around spirituality and personal and professional development, and bridging kind of the communities that we've all been a part of, and having some deep things to talk about, and bringing together curious people, community builders, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of how the inception of the idea came. Yeah. And then if you'd like to take your perspective there.
I think it was just a lot of long conversations, long nights of, man, we're going to all of these, like a way that we were bonding was going to networking events, and they weren't having conversations that we really wanted to talk about. They were, standard, let's talk about business, what are you doing, whatever. We wanted more out of them. So we had this idea that we should create a space to have conversations about stuff that we actually want to talk about. We want to talk about the deeper, diver, fun, weird, quirky topics.
Aliens,
like
conspiracy.
Weird stuff. The weird
quantum
stuff.
mechanics.
Yeah. We all know they're out there somewhere.
Yeah, they're here watching us. It's like
absolutely. They're probably sitting right here.
The Matrix is more of a documentary than anything.
Yeah.
But so yeah, we talk about that stuff all the time, and we had a good close friend group where, we would talk about fun stuff like that, and how do we become better people? How do you understand kind of your chakra system, visualization techniques, meditation, Reiki. What the heck is Reiki? And so we've talked about all different stuff like that, and we've all got our own practices, and that's where conversation would always lead is the deep, fun, esoteric stuff. And we wanted to build a community around that because we knew other people were also interested in talking about stuff like that, and we know many entrepreneurs that are eager to have their business thrive, and make lots of money and make lots of impact in the world, ourselves included. And so that's kind of where the inception of it came was, hey, we could actually do this. And we're pretty dang well-connected people. And you, like I've said before, one of the best connectors here in Omaha. And you really took me under your wing and been able to do photo and video with you for the past 4+ years and see your trajectory and starting this talk show and doing Women with Voices stuff. So yeah, that was absolutely an inspiration for us starting Manifest Omaha too, was to see the emotional and vulnerable conversations that you could have with people. Yeah.
In the space. Yeah.
Anything more to add to that?
Yeah, I think Manifest Omaha for me came out of a place of not feeling exactly. I feel like I fit in everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it only takes you about 30 seconds to figure out that I'm a wild little quirky girl. And, like those standard networking groups just don't feel like a space that I can truly be myself. I want to talk about, I want to do fun and adventurous and weird things. You know, it's like, okay, let's throw a pool party with a toe reader. And like, people love it in our group.
Flamethrowers.
Flamethrowers
Yes.
and mermaids.
Yes.
And yeah, I just wanted to create a safe space for people like myself that, you know, might feel alone in this business world. Let's come together, and we can still, Caleb's excellent at teaching business practices, and we're both great connectors within different communities. And let's pull these people all together and create a fun atmosphere where we can also build personal growth with each other.
Yeah.
Now, I can also say that Sam was a speaker at One with Voices Summit last year, and she brought an igloo, like a big blow-up igloo.
It was a time travel machine.
It was so awesome. That's where your greatness was shining, and you went outside of the box. She's like, can I have this igloo? I'm like, well, how big is it? And I'm like, I don't care if there's room, let's do it. And it was the coolest. And that's what you're going to bring.
Yeah.
You're going to bring your unique coolness
Yeah.
to others to be their unique coolness.
In my defense, my speech was on time traveling because I like to give a story to everything that I do. So I brought a time travel machine as a photo prop.
Yes.
So that was fun.
It was so cool. And it had different colors. Like, I'm like, ooh, lights. Ooh, ooh,
Rave
ooh.
in there. We were having a dance party.
It was so awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what is so beautiful about both of you, your uniqueness, right? No one can even match up to you two.
No.
Like, no one's even going to touch it. Now, I do want to talk about photography, because I think that's where you kind of bonded too, right? You both are amazing photographers. And you, Sam, you go to international. Like, I just want the world to know, name off like 3 of the coolest. Like, she goes internationally photographer for weddings. Like, I just got to ask you about that, because I think it's so cool.
Last year I shot around Scotland, Dublin, and London, but I've also been to Australia and Japan and Hawaii. I've shot a couple weddings on the West Coast this year, up in Yosemite, San Diego. You were there. You came.
You two did it.
Yeah, we
Co-hosted.
co-hosted a retreat together, but yeah, it was amazing. We had so much fun.
What made you go out of that box? I know a lot of photographers, but I don't know a photographer that literally is like, I am going to Ireland. I don't know anyone. I'm just going to do it. Like, you find, first of all, where do they find you at?
Yeah.
Because that is just, I think that's just a really big sparkle for you that makes you unique.
Yeah, so I've been a photographer. I've always had a camera in my hand since I was little. If you look at my old family photo albums, I always have a little Polaroid camera with me all the way up until high school. My mom was a photographer, and I think through high school and college, it more or less came from a need to like have a side hustle so that I could do the things that I wanted to do, you know. My family lives in St. Louis. So I would go down there, have them pay for a photo session, and it would help me pay for my gas. But then I would, you know, meet somebody at other places, and I'd be like, okay, well, if you book a session with me, I can afford the plane ticket to get there. So it just kind of started as like a side hustle to want to learn how to, you know, travel and stuff. But then it kind of just amounted to this deep fire passion of like love of traveling and wanting to experience different cultures. So I got into, I don't know, it just kind of bubbled in from that. So elopement photography is just, I'm having so many emotions come up, but yeah, I don't know. I find my couples on Facebook groups, getting into all of the different groups, posting, hey, I'm going to be in this area. Does anybody want to book a session? I don't really have a very stable website. It's not very awesome. It's kind of slapped together. So most of my clients I meet while I'm traveling. Yeah. So word of mouth right now. So
love that.
Even like the Scotland trip, I met these couples hiking in a trail in Colorado. So, and we were just making casual conversation in the parking lot. So, yeah.
And this is your one-on-one sales tip of today, is that when you're just being yourself and you have those true relationships, things come around.
Yeah.
And they fall in love with you.
Yeah.
Okay. I love that. And Caleb, you're a photographer.
Yes.
4 years, 5 years? How long has it been?
8 years. This is my 4th, almost 5th year full time.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's your, I mean, you've talked about it before, but on this show particularly, what is the number one thing you like to do? I feel like you're going more into business now with speaker reels and
I
videos.
love creating art out of life. So seeing the world as a canvas with, beautiful moments, mundane moments, tragic moments, and all of it, and being able to see that and the emotion that people have and being able to bring out that emotion and that authenticity that somebody has inside them help them feel comfortable being themselves, and then using the beautiful backdrops of Earth that we have to really create beautiful pictures that they can love of themselves, of their wedding day. Beautiful stuff to help them make more money by posting online, on their website, social media, reels for ads, awesome videos when people go to their website and, want to know about what they do. Being able to really showcase that in a couple minutes and do it well in a way that really fits their unique vibe. I started back in college at UNL. Got a degree in advertising, started doing photo and video, absolutely fell in love with that and fell in love with like pulling emotion out of people and just being silly and helping get them their silly self. Long story short, pretty much moved here, got a full-time job, hated that for the most part, just because the corporate world wasn't really my vibe. And then, so I've been working for myself for the past 4 years, and all the ups and downs of like COVID and afterwards. But yeah, now things are stable and it's fun. I get to create art for people for a living and spend probably too much time at home editing pictures, but like my job is being out in the world and seeing art, and help capturing it as beautifully as I can. So I'd like to get more into the traveling stuff like Sam, because that's really cool. And then we co-hosted a retreat in San Diego that was pretty stellar. And
tell me about that retreat. I saw that, because this is why I'm bringing all of this together. You both love to travel. You both are photographers, and you started this Manifest Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where do you want that to go? I feel like this is going to be an international, it could be,
Manifest.
where do you see these retreats? First of all, tell me about that retreat.
Yeah.
And I really think that could go off into something bigger.
Sam's probably the best person to talk on it, because it's really her idea that she wanted to start doing retreats. And I was there to kind of help with ideas and stuff. So she helped with pretty much everything, logistics, planning, getting the models and stuff like that. She did the brunt of the work for the most part. But yeah, she wants to do more of these retreats. I do as well.
Yes.
I probably got to get better at some of the logistics, planning side, stuff like that. We're a good yin-yang couple.
I can tell that. I love that. Work couple. I love that.
Yeah, so there's the sales process. So you have to find these couples. Elopement photography is kind of a little bit difficult, because you have to find the couples where you want to go, and you have to find the couples that are willing to pay for the travel. So a lot of the couples that I book, I'm charging them for, not only the photography, but the travel expenses, so the hotels and stuff like that. It kind of gets a little bit overwhelming to try to, I could go full time on that, but there's that little rickety middle where it's, can I live full time on that, or can I, am I going to need a part-time job to supplement? So kind of that middle ground. To build my portfolio, whenever I was starting off with elopement photography, I started attending all these styled retreats. So these different girls that I would meet on Facebook groups would host these styled shoots where they grab models, they grab hair and makeup artists, they grab all these different vendors, and they work on a concept. So it's like a fake wedding, and then photographers pay a fee to go to it, and then you get all this awesome content, you meet all these great people, and then the people that are hosting the retreat make money off of it, because, well, sometimes they can, it just depends. A lot of photographers won't charge too much, but the people that I was in contact with, they were making a whole job out of it. I was so impressed. So anyways, I wanted to do something like that, because then it was more in my control. So I've hosted lots and lots of little retreats in Colorado, in Washington, all around really, and a lot in Nebraska. But for the San Diego retreat, we took on too much.
It happened. That's how we learned.
So much. But we had 9+ styled shoots. They were all adventure based. So we had like a skydiving skydiving couple. We rented a yacht. That was fun.
You really did?
Yeah, we rented a yacht.
I thought you just like when they weren't looking, you were jumping on.
Profit that we would have had.
Yeah, we
blew
lost
it on the $6,500.
But my question is, was it a good time?
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We were on cliffs. Kaleb and I went skydiving together. That was so much fun. Best experience. We just created all these like little adventurous shoots and had couples come out. We rented a little mini vintage plane. We had photographers fly in from New York and Texas and all of these different places. We did workshops, and like it was awesome. People got great content. We worked with a model, Sheridan, and she's been on like Vogue magazine and Elle, and she's been on Times Square.
Is she from
boulevards.
Omaha?
She lives in Washington.
Okay.
I met her a long time ago whenever I hosted a shoot. But I mean, we had some like really cool top names. Yeah, so it was cool. But I would love to get into that more. We spent a week in San Diego. We had a blast. It was so much fun. But
to book weddings like we want to, and different opportunities. Like I want to work for yachts. I want to travel on private planes and go shoot parties on yachts and stuff, and traveling spiritual retreats and things like that. So really, both sides of the spectrum. To get jobs like that, oftentimes you need photos for your website, for your portfolio, and social media, so that people can see that you can do that work. Even though you can be the most talented photographer of all time, if you don't have pictures or videos of you on a yacht, that person that's owning that yacht is like, do I trust this person? Like, yeah, they can do great work, but I don't see any yachts in their pictures. It's like, of course I can shoot, your yacht beautifully, but I need to be able to show that.
Yeah.
So that's what a lot of this was let's get the content
Yeah.
in this place.
Being in TV advertising for almost 13 years.
Yeah.
Perception is reality.
Yeah.
exactly.
You want to be in the pictures. You want the right person demographic in the pictures. You want the same feel, the look. You got that right on there. You cannot go for yacht, photo shoots
Right.
unless you are on a yacht doing it.
Yeah.
That's exactly. And it's just like when I teach on my workshops on public speaking. You need to get those videos, and I tell my speakers, grab a photographer.
Yeah.
As you both know,
Yeah.
pictures tell the story.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of my clients will hire me. I get a lot of the time people asking, well, why wouldn't they just hire a photographer in that area? Well, do you want to go to Dublin and hire a local photographer that you don't like, know, or trust? Because you've never met anybody in Dublin. So hiring me locally, you know me, you like me, you trust me, we vibe, you can trust that I'm going to go over there, capture beautiful pictures, and you also know my reputation. If I can't make it for some unwilled reason, I can make those relationships, and people really trust that, bringing in somebody local that they like and trust. So
Yeah, that's the ticket, right?
Yeah.
With business
Yeah.
and friendships.
Somebody
It's
that's
who you
done it.
trust. Because if you're going to do what you say you're going to do, if you're going to show up and give the work that you want to give, you have to trust them.
Exactly.
And that's what's building those. And I really think you could combine these two.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you feel with retreats? Where do you see that?
I kind of vision for the future Manifest. I guess just beforehand to touch on what Manifest Omaha is.
Yes.
So in January, we started a Facebook group called Manifest Omaha. I was eating sushi, called up Sam. Hey, I think let's run with this. Let's just make the Facebook group. Yes. We got the name Manifest. My uncle shared that with me, and I was like, that's sweet. We talked to Sam. She loved that name. Let's keep it local, so let's add Omaha at the end of it. Started the Facebook group. Within a few days, we had a few hundred people in the group. Within probably a month and a half or so, we had 1,000 people. 3 weeks after starting it, we had our first event. We had 70 people or so at Luli Creative House, and I led a workshop on Ikigai, which is finding your reason for being. Cool concept and everything. We talked about what the future of Manifest is, what this group, all these people that didn't know what the heck this was, we were still trying to figure it out. And still kind of
trying to figure it out.
That's the fun journey.
That's the fun part. And so we had all these people that were like, hey, this sounds cool. We want to be a part of it. And since then, we've done monthly events. We've done different socials. We did a pool party last month. We've got Healers Healing Healers Tonight, which is a group that Sam and her mom have started to bring together healers that do different healing modalities in the holistic and alternative space to share their gifts with each other. Later on in the month, on August 22nd, we've got Spirituality and Business. So we really want to help artists and entrepreneurs get out of scarcity mindset and enter into abundance mindset, which really is understanding that there is more than enough for everybody. Let's tap into those resources. Let's connect people to the right, people and ideas and resources and such to, build friendship, build community, and also make as much value and impact as we can. So that's kind of what the group started as and where we're at. So I think we've got maybe 7 or 8 events under our belt, 2 more this month. And we would love to do retreats.
Yeah.
There's several different ideas, more intimate gatherings with people, whether dinners or something like that. But also, let's bring together let's do, you know, a weekend long retreat here in Omaha, or go to a cabin or something, or maybe it's in Kansas City or Colorado where we can bring together a more intimate group of people. Obviously, we'll be taking photos and videos to capture it. It works great for the branding of Manifest. I'm taking pictures at all the different events that we have. And so we can use that to help grow the space. Both of us have got pretty good brains for advertising and branding and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's growing, and it's so awesome to have a passion project like this and a community that is passionate about it to really like throw whatever we kind of want into it and help steer the yacht in the right direction. But really the whole community is helping to steer the yacht in the right direction, which is the way that we wanted it to be.
Yes. And I tell, you know, young people, well, people, it doesn't have to be young, but young ones are more, let's do this.
Yeah.
But there's enough to go around. You know, you find your heart, your purpose, and your passion, and then you just build your community.
Yeah.
And with Voices, I didn't know what I was doing. I just started it, and I found the power of their voice and how women can come together now, and they're collaborating, and great things are coming from it. It's the same with your group.
Yeah.
You had a purpose and a passion, and you believe in it. It may not be perfect. I'm not perfect, but you have your family, right? It's like a family of a community that they need each other, and they want to collaborate. And then you can bring in professional things. But it's the core of it is really doing what you love. And there's enough people to go around. All of us can have our own community. There's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about that too.
Absolutely.
What's the one thing you want to share then as far as the future? Like as far as events, are you going to continue with 2? Is it too much? Are you still just kind of rolling with it?
I'll let you start on that.
Cool. I think that doing a monthly event like we're doing, potentially going to twice a month, just with our bandwidth and stuff. So those will be Manifest Omaha Central events. That's what they have been. But also, there's so many people in there that do sound baths or do, you know, make your own candle together. Or here's Reiki and a cacao ceremony. Here's a breathwork meditation retreat that went on this last weekend. There was a group called Pleasure Camp, or my friend Sean Harner started a group called Pleasure Camp, where she brought up like 15 women together, and they had just an awesome sensual experience and meditation and dinner with conversation starters and stuff. So creating an atmosphere where people feel comfortable sharing their own events, for us, I think maybe adding one more event each month. And then the one thing that I want to touch on too.
I'm like I do 2 a month. I'm like,
It can be a little much. We're doing a good job keeping our head on our shoulders. But I would love to do a Manifestival. I envision Gene Leahy in the morning, starting at like dawn. We do yoga in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so I'll have to probably just stay up all night. And then having like a DJ or a band or something, you know, playing music, sound bath music, and somebody leading yoga with 100 or so people out on Gene Leahy at dawn. And then go into like, maybe they're playing awesome music and there's vendors lining the side of Gene Leahy, and we have like a dance party, and we have food, and we have music, and we have the vendors lining the space. So that's what I think would be super sweet to do. You know, just some random Saturday in September, October, probably next year legitimately.
I guess to tie off of that, I've been a little festival goer. I go to a music festival called Electric Forest since 2018, and I actually met my very favorite people in the whole world at that festival. I can't leave them without sobbing, and they really fill up my cup. And I'm even getting emotional talking about them. But there's just this community that I felt at this festival where everybody's just pouring with love, and it's like that real stuff. It's, you know, they really actually care about you. They want to know what's going on in your life. They a surreal connection to the music, to the yoga practices, to the workshops, to, you know, to the dancing. You know, we're wearing head to toe in glitter and just dancing our little faces off, and it's so much fun. But that's the community since I've been attending this festival every year, I've wanted to create something like that in Omaha, where there's this safe space to be your authentic self, because when you're more yourself, the higher you vibrate and the more fun you're having, and the higher you're vibrating, the more you're attracting people that belong in your life. So that's kind of where we landed with Manifest Omaha is, okay, let's just create a space that's full of these same little quirky weirdos that want to have this fun little atmosphere, this playing in the astral plane kind of vibe. Let's get all together and make some magic happen. So the festival would kind of definitely be a little spin off of something like that, with the dancing and the glitter and the sound baths and yoga and stuff like that. So it would be awesome.
I completely see this. It's everything you're saying.
Yeah.
And
And a
I
scavenger
like,
hunt.
yeah, and like, oh, that's fun. What I like too is I've been a part of a lot of festival committees, and it's just doing it right. But it takes probably a good year, just to FYI.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time, and you start with closing the
slap it
street, but you can
together.
We'll
do
slap it
it.
together.
You
Slap
can
it
do it
together.
Yeah.
because you already have your following of your community, right?
Yeah.
And if they see a full day, like I do a summit with the Women with Voices, it's a full day of greatness,
Yeah.
and that's what you're delivering.
Yeah.
So I would say pick a date, get a community, and pull it together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
To Sam's point too, like kind of at the core of what we're doing, we want to help raise vibes.
Yeah.
We're literally because I'm a science guy. I'm just recently kind of what you'd call spiritual, kind of atheist agnostic most of my life. I just fell away from religion because I didn't find a lot of truth. There was a lot of truth, but there's so many different religions out there. Which ones are right? So I went really down like the science side of things and trying to understand quantum mechanics and how our bodies work and stuff. Literally what it comes down to is raising the vibration that you are. So the higher frequency emotions like bliss and love and peace, those literally vibrate faster. Your body gets warmer. You attract more of that to you. In the same breath, if you are feeling shame or guilt or you're feeling bad, you are going to attract opportunities and experiences and people that resonate with that frequency. So the more that you can literally increase your vibe by doing things that bring you joy, that bring you bliss,
Yes.
that's how you bring more people around you that are also looking to vibrate at that. And then together, everybody's vibes are high. And and you can get into flow state where you're just like, time doesn't exist and you're just around awesome people. We just want to live in that space all the time.
Yeah, we
So
just
we're
like to
trying
play all
we
day
just wanna-
long.
we just
Play all
wanna
day long.
Play all day long.
That sounds like my
That's
cup
what
of
we
tea.
wanna
Well, we
do.
have 20 seconds left.
Okay.
How can they find you?
We have a Facebook group, Manifest Omaha, on Facebook. Go and follow us there. We're almost at 2,000 members. And then we have an Instagram too called @Manifest Omaha. We post fun stuff on there, inquisitive things to think about, what other people are saying within the space.
Yeah. But also try to come to some of our events that we host. We've got 3 going on this month, so one tonight. Check it out.
And we have a website that's almost done and a directory where we're going to bring together all the different people that are in the group so that people can find each other quickly. So look out for manifestomaha.com.
Yay.
Yay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Right here.
Thank you, Sandy. You
I
rock.
love my peeps. Go make it a day. Go be blissful, joyful, and just make it what you want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.